Someone asks you a simple question in English. What do you think about this idea? You know what you want to say. You may even have the sentence clearly in your head, but suddenly your heart beats faster. Your face feels warm. You start thinking, what if my pronunciation sounds strange? What if my grammar is wrong? What if everyone notices? And before you know it, the moment is past. You choose silence. Try something different right now. Imagine someone asks, "What did you do this weekend?" Do not create a perfect answer. Give yourself 3 seconds and say only one simple sentence aloud. I stayed home and relaxed. Or, I went out with my friends. Say it now. Do not correct it afterward. That small action is important because confidence does not always come before speaking. Very often, confidence grows because you speak and discover that you can survive an imperfect sentence. Here is a simple rule for the next time fear appears. Make your goal communication, not performance. Instead of asking, "Will my English sound good?" ask, "Can this person understand my message?" Let us test it. Which is more useful in a real conversation, staying completely silent because you cannot create the perfect sentence, or saying, "Yesterday I go to the store," even though the grammar is incorrect? The second sentence has a mistake, but the listener can probably understand the message. You communicated. Your fear is normal, but silence is what can keep you from the conversations, relationships, and opportunities where English could help you. So today, we are not going to wait for fear to disappear. We are going to learn how to speak while that fear becomes smaller. And first, you need to understand something surprising about judgment. Other people may be paying much less attention to your mistakes than you imagine. There is a psychological reason for this, called the spotlight effect. Once you understand it, that imaginary audience inside your head can start to feel much smaller. Imagine you are in a meeting, a classroom, or a group conversation. It is your turn to speak English. You make one pronunciation mistake, and immediately your brain says, "Everyone heard that. They probably think my English is terrible." For the next few minutes, you keep thinking about that one mistake. But here is the question. Are the other people thinking about it as much as you are? Probably not. Psychologists use the term spotlight effect to describe our tendency to believe that other people notice us more than they actually do. It can feel as if a bright spotlight is following you around, making every mistake visible. But most people are living under their own imaginary spotlight. They are thinking about what they should say, how they look, whether they sound intelligent, what they need to do later, or what other people think about them. Let us make this practical. Think about the last time someone else made a small grammar or pronunciation mistake while speaking. Can you remember the exact mistake? Maybe not. Even if you noticed it for a second, you probably continued listening to their message. Now compare that with one of your own embarrassing English mistakes. You may remember yours much more clearly. That difference matters. Your mistakes feel bigger because they belong to you. Try this mental technique before your next English conversation. When you notice the thought, "Everyone is judging me," replace it with a question. What evidence do I have right now? Did someone actually criticize your pronunciation? Did someone laugh at your grammar? Or is your mind predicting what they might think? You are not trying to convince yourself that nobody will ever judge you. Some people may notice mistakes. The goal is to separate what is actually happening from what fear is imagining. Now say this sentence aloud. People are listening for my message, not grading every word. Again, people are listening for my message, not grading every word. Use this as a reminder before a conversation. Then move your attention outward. Instead of monitoring yourself every second, was that tense correct? Did my accent sound strange? Focus on the other person. What are they saying? What information do they need from you? What question can you ask next? Communication becomes easier when your attention moves from "How am I being judged?" to "What are we trying to communicate?" And here is where the spotlight effect connects directly to your English progress. If you believe every mistake is being watched, you naturally try to avoid mistakes. The safest way to avoid mistakes is to say less. But saying less also gives you fewer opportunities to practice real English. So we need to remove another trap, the belief that your sentence must be correct before it deserves to be spoken. Because perfection can feel like protection, but for an English learner, it can quickly become a prison. You now know that other people are probably paying less attention to your mistakes than you imagine. But there may still be a voice inside your head saying, okay, but I should speak only when I know my sentence is correct. That sounds reasonable. In reality, it can keep you silent for years. Imagine someone asks you, what did you do yesterday? You want to say that you met a friend for coffee, but your brain immediately starts checking. Should I say meet or met? Is it for coffee or to drink coffee? What if my pronunciation is wrong? While you are checking everything, the conversation keeps moving. Now try the opposite approach. Give yourself 3 seconds and answer aloud. Yesterday, I met my friend for coffee. Did you hesitate? That is okay. Now imagine you accidentally say, yesterday, I meet my friend for coffee. The tense is wrong, but ask yourself one question. Can the other person understand what happened? Yes. This is the mindset shift. English is a tool for communication, not a grammar exam. Grammar matters. Pronunciation matters. We want to improve both. But during a real conversation, communication comes first. You can notice and correct mistakes later. If you demand perfect English before you allow yourself to speak, you remove the practice that can actually help your English improve. Let us do a quick exercise. I will give you 3 questions. Answer each one within 3 seconds. Do not prepare a perfect sentence. What did you eat today? What are you doing tomorrow? What do you think about learning English? Say your answers aloud. Maybe your grammar was not perfect. Maybe you use very simple words. But if you produced a clear message, the exercise worked. Now make it slightly harder. Imagine you cannot remember the perfect word. Instead of stopping, use easier English. If you forget exhausted, say, I was very tired. If you forget delicious, say, the food was really good. If you forget appointment, say, I have to meet my doctor at 3. This is a powerful communication skill. Protect the message, not the perfect sentence. Remember this line. An imperfect sentence that communicates something is more useful than perfect silence. That does not mean ignoring mistakes forever. It means choosing the right time to correct them. Speak first. Communicate. Then review what you want to improve. But understanding this idea intellectually is easier than using it when your heart starts beating quickly in a real conversation. So we need to train courage gradually. You do not have to jump directly from speaking alone to giving a presentation in English. Instead, you can build confidence step by step with a low-stakes exposure ladder. Knowing that mistakes are normal can help, but fear is not always logical. You may understand everything we have discussed and still feel nervous when someone suddenly speaks English to you. That is why the next step is not more thinking. It is gradual exposure. Instead of forcing yourself into the most frightening situation immediately, you practice speaking in situations where the emotional risk is low, then slowly increase the challenge. Think of it as a 3-level ladder. Level 1, speak alone. Level 2, record your voice. Level 3, speak with one person you trust. You do not need to jump from silence to speaking confidently in front of 10 people. Your job is simply to move one step higher when the current level becomes more comfortable. Start with level 1. Choose a familiar topic and speak aloud for 2 minutes when you are alone. Describe your morning, your room, your plans, or something you watched. Try it now. Complete these 3 sentences aloud. Today, later, I'm going to. Right now, I feel. Do not restart when you make a mistake. Keep going. At this level, nobody is listening, so you can teach your brain that producing imperfect English is safe. Then move to level 2. Record yourself. This may feel surprisingly uncomfortable because now your English can be played back. Start small. Record only 30 seconds. Answer one question such as, "What did I do today?" Then listen once. But here is the rule. Do not search for everything that is wrong. Find one thing that worked and one thing you want to improve. Maybe your message was clear, but you spoke too quietly. Record the same answer again with a stronger voice. That is progress you can actually measure. Sophia used a similar approach. She could read English and understand everyday conversations, but speaking around other people made her extremely nervous. She worried about her accent and imagined people noticing every grammatical mistake. Because of that fear, she often gave very short answers, even when she had much more to say. At first, Sophia tried to solve the problem by studying more grammar. She thought, when my English is better, I will feel ready to speak. But the feeling of readiness never really arrived because she was practicing English knowledge without practicing the situation that frightened her, being heard. So she started small. For several days, she spoke alone for a few minutes about ordinary topics. Then she began making short voice recordings. Hearing herself felt uncomfortable at first, but after repeated practice, her own English voice stopped feeling so strange. Finally, she asked a trusted friend to have a short English conversation with her. Just 5 minutes. Her goal was not to speak perfectly. Her goal was to stay in the conversation. Sophia still paused. She still made mistakes. But she discovered something important. Nothing terrible happened. Her friend understood her. The conversation continued. Each small experience gave her brain new evidence that speaking English did not automatically lead to embarrassment. You can follow the same ladder. Spend a few days speaking alone. Then add short recordings. When that becomes manageable, choose one supportive person and have a 5-minute English conversation. You can even tell them, "I'm practicing speaking, so I may need a little time." That removes some pressure before you begin. Do not measure success by how little fear you feel. Measure it by what you can do while fear is present. If your heart beats faster, but you still finish your sentence, that counts. If you make a mistake but continue speaking, that counts. But what happens when you reach level 3, someone asks you a question, and your mind suddenly goes completely blank? You need something ready before that moment arrives. In the next part, you will learn 3 simple safety net phrases that can give your brain a few extra seconds without forcing you to escape the conversation. You have climbed the exposure ladder. You are speaking with another person, and things are going well. Then they ask you a question you were not expecting. Suddenly, your mind goes blank. You know English. You know you have an answer. But for a few seconds, nothing comes out. This is exactly when many learners panic. They think, "I need to answer immediately." That pressure makes it even harder to think. Instead, you need a few safety net phrases, simple sentences you can use automatically when your brain needs more time. The first phrase is, "I need a second to gather my thoughts." Say it aloud now. "I need a second to gather my thoughts." This phrase tells the other person that you are thinking. More importantly, it gives you permission to pause without feeling that the conversation has failed. Imagine someone asks, "What do you think we should change about this project?" Your mind is blank. Instead of forcing an immediate answer, say, "I need a second to gather my thoughts." Take a breath. Then begin simply, "I think we should change the schedule." You did not escape the conversation. You created a few extra seconds and stayed in it. The second phrase is, "Let me rephrase that simply." This is useful when you start a sentence, get lost halfway through, and realize you are making the idea too complicated. Try it aloud. "Let me rephrase that simply." For example, you begin, "The reason why I believe this situation could possibly," and suddenly you cannot finish. Stop. Say, "Let me rephrase that simply. I think we need more time." That is not failure. That is communication. Instead of fighting with one complicated sentence, you restart with language you can control. Now the third phrase. What I'm trying to say is, Repeat it. What I'm trying to say is, this phrase is useful when the other person looks confused or when your first explanation does not communicate your meaning clearly. Imagine you say, yesterday my manager gave me, the work is different now. You feel yourself getting stuck. Use the safety net. What I'm trying to say is, my manager gave me a new responsibility. You have created a fresh beginning without apologizing for every mistake. Let us practice all three. I will give you a situation, and you choose a phrase. Your manager asks a difficult question, and you need 5 seconds to think. What can you say? I need a second to gather my thoughts. Good. Now you are halfway through a complicated explanation and cannot finish it. Say, let me rephrase that simply. Then restart with one short sentence. Finally, someone does not understand your explanation. Say, what I'm trying to say is, and explain the main message again using easier words. Notice what these phrases have in common. None of them hides your English. None of them ends the conversation. They simply create space. That space helps you breathe, organize your thoughts, and choose simpler language. Do not wait until you panic to practice them. Say each phrase 5 times today. Then create one short answer after each one. The goal is to make these phrases familiar enough that they can appear automatically when your brain is under pressure. You now have 2 kinds of protection. Mentally, you know that other people are probably not examining every mistake as closely as you imagine. Practically, you have phrases that help you stay in the conversation when your mind goes blank. But safety nets are only useful if you are willing to step onto the ladder. So there is one final challenge. Today, deliberately choose one small moment where you could stay comfortable and silent, and say one imperfect English sentence instead. You now understand the spotlight effect. You know that perfection can keep you silent. You have an exposure ladder for building confidence gradually, and you have 3 safety net phrases for those moments when your brain suddenly goes blank. But there is one final step that no explanation can do for you. You have to speak. So here is your challenge for today. Find one small, safe opportunity to say one imperfect sentence in English. Not a presentation. Not a 20-minute conversation. Just one sentence that you might normally avoid because you are afraid of making a mistake. Maybe someone asks how your day is going. Instead of giving a one-word answer, say, my day is going well, but I'm a little tired. Maybe you have an English-speaking coworker. Ask, how was your weekend? Or record yourself saying, today I felt nervous, but I practiced English anyway. Your goal is not to eliminate fear before you speak. Your goal is to choose courage over comfort for one small moment. After you speak, do not immediately analyze every word. Ask yourself 3 simpler questions. Did I communicate something? Did I stay in the moment even if I felt nervous? Did I continue even if my English was imperfect? If the answer is yes, that is real speaking practice. Tomorrow, do it again. One sentence can become 2. 2 sentences can become a short conversation. Gradually, your brain collects evidence that speaking English is something you can handle. Remember, an imperfect sentence that communicates is more valuable than perfect silence. Your accent does not need to disappear. Your grammar does not need to become flawless before your voice deserves to be heard. If you want to keep practicing English in a community that focuses on communication instead of perfection, subscribe and continue learning with us. Today, choose one sentence you are slightly afraid to say, and say it anyway. Do not wait for fear to disappear. Build courage by speaking while fear is still there.